Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Michael Camo. I'm Director of Content for T3 Live. I am here with the great Sami Abusaad, and today we have a bunch of very, very fun things to talk about because I know you guys are seeing ARM, lots of earnings season action. Of course, we're going to talk about some of the big hot topics in the market like MSOS, which is the number one ETF of 2024. And Sammy is going to give us his take on what the story is with that and a whole lot more. Our friend Trump Court in the comments says hi. Hi, everybody. Feel free to share comments, questions, thoughts, anything you want in the comment section on whatever social platform you are viewing on. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, and LinkedIn. So, Sammy, how are you doing today, my friend?
Couldn't be better. Actually, the best day of the year for me today.
Yeah. So, Sammy, we've been having good luck with Sammy's because we do these every Thursday, and it seems like Sammy is having a good Thursday pretty much every week. So we just want to go through a couple of recent highlights for Sammy. I know if you were on this call last week, Sammy said Disney was a buy. He says it was good. He said it was going up. It was around 97 there. It's up about $10 since then. If you really want to know why Sammy's in a good mood today, so Sammy called ARM long into earnings, and everybody knows it's up like 50% today. It's been a huge gainer for Sammy. So if you need to ask Sammy for a favor or anything, like now is the time because Sammy's in a very good mood. And overall, his earnings season is looking really good. Up to yesterday, he's up to 76 wins, 2 break even, 60 losses. The average trade has gained $308. And, when you think about it, he's doing multiple trades a day, that adds up very quickly. So, Sammy, how is earnings season shaping up overall for you?
Actually, really, really good because normally the first quarter of the year is the slowest compared to the other earnings seasons. But this one has been really, really good. I mean, I can't complain, and I think it's because the small cap stocks are starting to produce follow through, starting to look higher. Look at ARC, for example, which is a position in the newsletter. But so things are starting to look really, really good, and the companies, the stocks are responding really well on earnings. Also, Bitcoin is broke out yesterday. Tesla may have bottomed, so we have a lot of interesting setups and plays. I have over 50 positions in my account in the newsletter also. So it's just a really busy time, but it's also a terrific time to be in the market, especially again the small cap stocks, because the large caps, that's been the place to be. But right now, I think what's going to be playing catch up are the small caps.
Okay, so our friend here, Trump Corp, says, and I gotta love that that avatar he has. He says, "Thanks for the arm call, and I hope Airbnb will also skyrocket." So yeah, so Sammy talked about the small caps last week as a place to look, and it looks like today they are starting to play catch up overall. So you just brought up Bitcoin. Do you think Bitcoin doing well is a good sign for the equity markets overall?
Um, I think so. It's an asset, right? It's a reflection of people's investors' confidence in assets and volatile assets. What are volatile assets? I mean, when it comes to the stock market, it's the small caps. So having confidence in the small cap stocks in Bitcoin, I think bodes well for the overall market. So yeah, I like it, and also Bitcoin from a technical point of view. We can talk all we want about the fundamentals. From a technical point of view, it looks good. So that's what I like. I'm a technician, through and through. But in answer to your question, yes, I think it does bode well for the market.
Okay, so last week you talked about this. You thought the small caps were going to start playing catch up. Now, are you still in that camp?
Am I still? Oh yeah, of course. In fact, in my 401k, I moved the money out of the large cap into the small cap. I did it a couple of days early because the small caps, I mean the IWM and the mid cap also, have been sideways. But it just makes sense. I mean, if you look at ARC, if you look at the IWM monthly chart, it makes sense that now or over the next few weeks that they will start to be the ones to really skyrocket, hopefully.
Okay, now in February we're seeing a lot of strength in the semis. Obviously, ARM is the big story now, and SMCI was last week, and Nvidia is obviously like the name everybody's talking about. What do you think is going to happen with the semis?
I don't know, because it's like every semiconductor stock is already skyrocketed. I mean, what else is there to report? I mean, Nvidia, I guess. I don't know. I think they'll continue to be bullish, but is this the place to start looking for opportunities? I don't think so. I don't think it's the place to start looking for opportunities. It's the place, it's been a good place to be, but not going forward, I don't think.
Okay, so one of the big topics we wanted to talk about today was MSOS, the cannabis ETF, because it's been the number one performer this year. It's up, so as of yesterday at least, it was up like 45%, slipping a little bit today. But we were hoping, Sammy, you could pull up your magic charts to show us what you see with MSOS, just because it's such a hot topic in the market these days.
Yeah, so this is a really nice uptrend in MSOS. If we kind of look at this is a daily chart. If we look at the weekly chart, it reached the prior high, so it might be sideways for a while. If we look at the monthly, it's just in the beginning stages of a transition. So I do like it a lot. I think this is a good place to be, but it might need to base for a little while to allow that 20 period moving average, that line on the chart, to flatten out a little bit more and break out. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, has it flattened out as much as Roku is flattened out? Has it flattened out as much as ARC? Do you see the curl? Has it flattened out as much as, I mean, there's a million of them. Like Crisp. I don't know. Crisp is not the best because it's just starting. So I don't think it has. And I think that the MSOS looks nice. Look at the STNE. I mean, that's another one that looks beautiful. Path. That's another one that looks beautiful. I mean, all of these stocks. Look at Datadog. That's already going. Look at Shop. It's already going. I'm in every single one of these that I'm mentioning. So I think ARC is, I mean, not ARC. MSOS is beautiful, but it had its moment. It's moved up. I mean, from 5. If we go back to the weekly, it moved up from $5, right? That's $4.92 to $11 or $10, $10.60. So I think it's gonna need some basing action, and if it can base, then that will ensure its success. I think as a transition play on the monthly chart going forward. But I do think, I'm not surprised that it came in a little bit today. I think it needs to base for a while. Sometimes they don't base. Sometimes you think it's gonna do something and it doesn't, or you wait for the play, it doesn't wait for you. But I think the MSOS probably needs to base before it transitions successfully on the monthly chart. Because I've seen also plays where the stock just runs up too hard, too fast, and it comes right back down. So I don't know. But I like it when the 20 gives you that nice arch, nice rounding bottom, so to speak, like Oscar today. I mean, not today. I've been in it for a while. It's actually up over 100% since that day. That's when I got it. So those are the best, the ones that that flatten out and start to curve up, right? Curl up. And I think the MSOS is getting there, but for now it probably is gonna see some sideways consolidation going forward.
Okay, now, excuse me. So, Sammy, so MSOS, sorry, is kind of a unique situation because it feels like everybody is waiting on news. So, specifically for, I don't know if they're looking for like a DEA decision. Is anything like that ever reflected on the chart? Just sort of wide scale, anticipation of news.
100% all the time. We saw it with Bitcoin, how it was running up. We can look at the chart of Beto, I guess, was running up into the announcement, and then it crashed after that. But now it's looking good again. But we if there is any pending news, that run up makes all the sense in the world. Now, we don't also have to go with the ETF. We can look at the individual names, and from the individual names, I really like the OGI. It's a 1, 2, 3 pattern on the daily, looks good on the weekly. It looks even better than MSOS. I don't know if it triggered already. It probably did. I'll look at my account right now to tell you if I got it or not. But OGI is the play for me going forward, as far in the cannabis stocks. So OGI, right? I don't see it, so it hasn't triggered. But any kind of pop here should get I should get in it. I mean, any kind of pop. So that it got to 215. Probably if it gets to 216, I'll be in it. I have an order for it in my account. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, everybody. So you just heard it. Everybody, put OGI on your radar. So we're going to talk a little bit about a sort of. I think we're going to pivot a tiny bit because we're talking about a lot of these sort of, like, I like to call them cult sectors, because they all have these sort of religious followings, and no matter what you tell people, they're bullish on it, like Bitcoin, gold. So another topic that came up last week is uranium. So CCJ, which is the sector leader today, they reported earnings. Looks like they weren't good enough. So, Sammy, could you pull up? I mean, you could pull up URA, URNM. Tell us what's going on in uranium.
Not so good. So, the buy setup was forming. I have a call in the newsletter on DNN. It didn't trigger over the SPAR's high. But the fact that, we came in here today, we gapped up and came in, that's not good. So now what needs to happen is we need to see some consolidation, or we need to see a move back into to stay above the 20. We need to, even if it drops is okay, but it needs to snap back and stay above the 20 on the uranium stocks. And if they do, then I think that they'll be okay. They'll be higher long term. But for now, today, that's not bullish at all. What happened today, that breakdown bar.
Okay, now guys, do you see why I consider Sammy to be such a good friend? So I own lots of uranium stocks, and he's telling me the truth I need to hear. He's not telling me what I want to hear. So Sammy, I always appreciate that. So Sammy, what about do you follow gold? Like, can you pull up gold and let us know what's going on there? Because that's another place people have been waiting for a breakout, and it seems like it's never going to come.
Yeah. By the way, Disney, just so this is a good place to exit. I'm keeping it long term, but this is not a bad place to exit. It just accelerated intraday, and it's up so much. It's up 12. It's up 12%. It is up. The Disney play is up exactly 10,800 right now. So it's a nice play. It is a good place to exit, but I'm keeping it long term because it transitioned on the monthly. So I'm not going to exit, but it is. If you took it last week, I actually mentioned it also in the weekend video that I do for 2 weeks in a row. So this would be a good place to exit, but again, I'm keeping long term. Now, sorry, back to your question. The question was, what was the question, Mike?
Gold. What's going on with gold? We're waiting for this magic gold breakout. So where is it, Sammy?
So gold, this is what I hate about gold. I'm in the HMY, and what I don't like about gold is that everything takes forever to move. I mean, it just takes forever to move. So GLD, if you look at it, the 20 is flat. When the 20 is flat like this, that means there's no momentum. It's now, is the trend up or down? The trend is up, and then a base. That's bullish. But in the time being, the 20 MA, that line on the chart, is crisscrossing price, going through price, which tells me there's no momentum in gold at the moment. But I do like gold higher long term. It makes sense. It's basing at the all-time high. I mean, this is bullish. It's not bearish at all. But it's not. I really don't like to trade gold. I don't like to trade energy. I don't like to trade utilities. I don't like to trade real estate. Those are the sectors that most of the time I find setups and I love them, and I'm like, yes, let's do this, and then they don't go. They don't move. I called the HMY long on the weekly buy setup. It shot up really nice over here, really nice, and then now it's coming back in. So, I find that gold stocks, again, those 4 sectors that I mentioned, but especially gold, tend to move very little. And so for trading, I think it's not the best place to be. Investing long term maybe is okay, but I really dislike gold stocks and the gold sector in general.
Okay, guys. Just a reminder: you can ask. We have some questions coming in. Load up that comment section with questions because we have Sammy for about another 15 minutes, and we want to suck as much knowledge as we can out of his very powerful chart and analyzing brain. So Sammy, let's pull out a little bit big picture because everybody's celebrating like S&P 5,000. What are you seeing in the broader market up here?
I mean, just bullishness. I don't see people say, "Oh, we have a bubble." I don't see it. I don't see it. I see really bullish market that's just grinding up, which is nice. I also see that the IWM is just starting to move. So I don't think we have a bubble at all right now. It's just overall bullish market, very, very bullish market.
Okay, guys, you heard it. So yeah, so I guess it's interesting that I feel like everybody's kind of jumping in to say it's overdone at the exact same time, which is obviously always interesting. So let's grab a couple of. We have some questions in the chat. So we have Frank is asking about DCPH.
Yeah, it's a weekly buy setup. I'm familiar with it, but it's not. It's a biotech. It's a weekly buy setup. There it is. But flattish 20, I don't like it that much. So it needs to take out. If you want to play it, I would only get in it over 1430. Only over 1430. Okay, on the DCPH. So meaning it has to break above this base and fail on the sell setup that it's forming, then maybe higher. But I don't see it as there's like 101 plays that look better than the DCPH. So this is not bad on the weekly if it can take out 1430. But there's so many good ones out there that I wouldn't even bother with this one personally.
Okay, so our friend Sunkite1 from YouTube is asking about Mara, which is one of the popular Bitcoin miners.
What is it, Mara?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good. It broke the downtrend. Looks good. Need to be in it already because it's moved up a lot. I mean, today it's up 15.5. So if you're in it, great. Looks good to the prior high, probably because of the drop that happened last month in the crypto stocks and Bitcoin stocks, because that was a highly bearish drop. They're probably not going to rip right away. So I mean, it's up already 15% today, but I just mean I think they're gonna take some time before they're ready to take out the recent highs. I'm in Coinbase. I'm in 3 of them, I think, but Coinbase is by far my biggest position in the crypto stocks because of the weekly chart. The weekly looks picture perfect. I actually called it in the newsletter. Oh no, I called it in the room live yesterday on Coinbase because I saw was a pullback on the weekly, right? Bearish on the daily, but I saw also a breakdown with no follow through. This is a pattern that I recognize happens all the time. You have a stock that pulls in, prints the wide range bar, followed by an inside bar. The entry's over that bar's high. It was 121 by 14. I'm not even looking at the chart. 121 by 114.50 is what I called it in the room yesterday as a swing long. It's already at 130, but it's not about being, this isn't, I don't care about 130. Actually, Coinbase is up as of right now. It's up 28.41, so almost $3,000 from just yesterday. But what I care about is the weekly. You see the weekly buy setup. I played it on the way up from over here. Okay, I didn't stick with it till to the top. Unfortunately, I took half, I think, here and maybe half here. But you can see it transitioned on the monthly. Now it went climactic. It went way up. So the pullback was very deep. But I think this is a very, very nice place to be looking for an entry. And look at that weekly buy setup. It's the same sort of pattern on the ARK, except ARK looks even better than Coinbase, but Coinbase is more volatile. So I have ARK, I have 2,000 shares of ARK, and I have 300 shares of Coinbase.
Okay, and just so we're clear, Sammy, do you like Coin itself, Coin better than Bitcoin?
So Coin will follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin does well, Coin will do well. But yes, I like Coin better than Bitcoin. I think Coin is going to be more volatile, and it has a better setup. I mean, so here's Beto. This is the ETF, the futures ETF. Doesn't matter. It's the same as the spot ETF, but the spot ETFs, they don't have much data because they were just approved a month ago. So here's Beto. It's a weekly buy setup, but this is sloppy. I mean, this is pretty sloppy. Look how pretty this is. This is much prettier. So yes, in answer to your question, I do like coin more than Bitcoin. I have a lot more in Bitcoin than I do in coin because it's a whole sector, I consider it. And so I play it as an investment. And this one is more as an investment than a trade. But if it gets back to the $200 area or the prior high, I will probably take it. Whereas Bitcoin, I'm not going to be looking to exit. But yeah, I really, really like coin, probably more than Bitcoin. Yes.
Okay, so let's pull back a little bit. Big picture crypto. So since we have the ETFs approved, do you think you're more likely to focus on the ETFs, or would you rather just trade Bitcoin itself?
ETFs make a lot more sense than Bitcoin itself, because Bitcoin itself, I mean, if you trade Bitcoin, you're going to incur really high commission. Now, if you say, no, I have this Robinhood or Webull app that allows me to buy Bitcoin without commission, yeah, that's because they add spread to the coin, like a 1% spread, so it ends up costing a lot more. The only advantage to trading Bitcoin as opposed to the ETFs, the only advantage that I can think of is the fact that you have access to it 24/7. So some news comes out and you want to take Bitcoin shoots up and you want to take profit or starts to break down, you want to exit, you want to trail your position, you can do so. But with the ETFs, it's hard because they only trade during market hours. I do have Beto in my IRA account, and I moved my IRA account recently to Robinhood because they offered 2% match or something like this. So I was like, great. I don't trade my IRA account actively at all. I only have Tesla in it, and I have Tesla from $100 from 105 from the bottom, and then I just added the Beto, and I noticed that Beto I can trade from 24/7. So because it's a futures ETF, so I do have access to Beto through Robinhood, I think, around the clock. But again, that's the main disadvantage to trading the ETFs as opposed to the cryptocurrency itself.
Yeah, I will second Sammy's comments on the spreads with crypto. So I have an account with one of the biggest crypto brokers, and I swear every time I place a trade, I can feel myself getting ripped off. It just, relative to placing a stock or ETF order, it just feels so fishy. So I think Sammy is on. I think I might actually close my crypto account and just go with the ETFs, just because it just seems like such an easier way to operate. So let's talk about Tesla for a second, because Jim Cramer kicked it out of the Magnificent Seven, and it looks like it's been perking up a little bit. So Sammy, could you pull up your beautiful Tesla chart and let us know what's going on there?
So Tesla, I believe, bottomed 2 days ago. Okay, and I got 14,000 shares of the TSLL. Now, I should have gotten the TSLT, which is twice the leverage of Tesla, but I didn't think of it, and I got the TSLL, which is 1.5 times the leverage. So I think it might have bottomed 2 days ago, but I'm trailing it. I'm going to kill half under this bar's low. Okay, so if it takes out yesterday's low, I will exit the Tesla position that I got in 2 days ago. The back half is going to be off the hourly chart. Here it is. So front half is going to be trailed to yesterday's low, and then the back half is going to be trailed to here on Tesla. So Tesla is challenging. I mean, the setup is pretty difficult because if we go back to the daily, because we're not, when you're trying to pick the bottom on a stock that's down a lot, you want it to look like this. You want it to be way, way, way down, like the SGML, for example, right? Or the NYCB, which, by the way, I picked the exact bottom yesterday. I have it, and I called it in the room live. So you want it to be something like this, but especially something like the SGML, where it's down so many bars, very climactic, very extended. You don't want it to look like this, grinding down, not far from the moving average. So it might have bottomed, but it's a very iffy call. We'll see if it proves to be the bottom or not. If not, okay, we'll just give back the gains, but I'm trailing it. I'm not going to hold it if it takes out yesterday's low. If we look at the monthly chart of Tesla, it did. I mean, it is at a little bit of support, but there's much more support around the $150 area. Like this bar's low is 158, 160 or so. So it got down to 175, not exactly at the support area. It also was a recent breakdown. So normally I don't want to fade the recent breakdowns. I mean, if it's a recent breakdown, I don't want to play it long. But in the case of Tesla, I made an exception and I played it 2 days ago. And so, I think, it might be the bottom, but I'm not too sure about it. And that's why I'm using a tight trail on it. This way I won't lose money, but I'll give back whatever I made.
Okay. Okay, so we have about 3 minutes left. So Sammy, I'm going to ask you to go over 3 more names. So the first one is kind of one that's been in painful forever, which is PayPal. Well, what's going on with PayPal?
So PayPal tried to transition higher. I could see it try to transition, but notice how it stayed below the 20 on the monthly. So normally they don't transition successfully unless they go above it on the monthly, like I showed you on Roku, right? On some of the other names that I mentioned, like Arc, Zillow, so you want Shop. So you want the 20 to go below price. So as long as it's under, it's not ready yet. Like Zoom, for example, also something I've been eyeing, but it's staying under. Ring Central, RNG, staying under. Ring Central actually looks the best one of the 3. But so you want it to base long enough and show some short-term bullishness, momentum to the upside, so that the 20 goes from underpriced, and then you get the breakout. So PayPal, I thought it might gap up on earnings, and then because the daily was looking good, but clearly is not ready. So PayPal not ready.
Okay, you heard here. PayPal will disappoint you again. Okay, so Sammy, so let's close out with 2 more. Obviously, two of the big names in tech everybody's watching: Nvidia and SMCI, and then we will close out. But guys, stick around. We have something free and fun for you, so stick around.
So Nvidia is too extended. I mean, it's just I wouldn't bet on Nvidia here. It's staying very, very bullish, but it's way up there. So it's not something I would be looking to enter into. We can even look for a short if it closes as a doji bar today and then tomorrow breaks under it. I mean, it's that extended or climactic. It reminds me of the SGML that I mentioned. In this case, this one as a long and Nvidia almost as a short. Now, yes, Nvidia has a cult following. It's so bullish. It's a name brand, which I don't like to short, by the way. So, so it might not follow through as well as, say, the SGML long. It might not follow through to the downside, but it's way up here. I mean, I wouldn't be starting a long position in it. I think this is closer to a short-term top than it is to, to the bottom, obviously. So that's my take on Nvidia.
Okay, Sammy, and guys, again, stick around because we have something free for you to give away. Let's close out, Sammy, with our good friend SMCI.
SMCI is similar to Nvidia, but SMCI, so here's the doji bar, so under short, right? Under yesterday's low, short. And instead of taking it out, it's actually heading for the highs. So it looks like it's not done yet. Looks like it's still going to continue higher. But basically, if it breaks under a prior bar's low, these climactic stocks, once they break under a prior bar's low, that's usually a signal that they're going to come in. But not any kind of bar. We want a reversal bar, like a narrow range bar, narrow body, a topping tail bar. Those are the kind of bars that I want to play short under if I'm going to play short at all. I'm not necessarily recommending playing these short, but what I'm saying is I wouldn't be looking to play them long here. It's too late, too far gone.
Okay, you heard it. So be very, very careful with these these high flyers that have been out of control, and I guess ARM is probably in that category also. So, guys, we put together a quick summary of Sammy's takeaways for today. So, Coin is his number one crypto play. He thinks IWM will outperform. MSOS is a good place to be, though it might need to base. OGI looks better. STNE and Path look beautiful. Uranium trade names need to get back over the 20-day, which is disappointing for me. GLD, good long term, but frustrating, and the market overall is bullish. Sammy, did I get everything?
That's a pretty good summary. I didn't know you were taking notes. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I have very, very powerful brain. So, guys, if you want to learn Sammy's trading method for free, we encourage you to go to t3live.com/a, t3live.com/SA. I will also pop the link in the comments. And this way you can get Sammy's ebook. A lot of the stuff in this ebook are straight out of the Trading the Pristine Method course, which costs $795. So this is a great way to learn some of the basics behind, Sammy's analysis of Nvidia and Tesla and Coinbase and all these other names. Definitely get this ebook. There's a link in the description if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. Make sure you click that link, download the ebook, because it will get you started in Sammy's system. And of course, it's 100% free. And guys, if you just heard that, that was Sammy's magical trading robot placing orders while
the
we were
NXPI
talking.
triggered. That's what that is. It's the NXPI. I didn't know I have my account also open on the desktop. I have it on the laptop, but it's the NXPI triggering. It looks good long term. So this is, you asked me about semis. I told you not good, but it's not. It depends on what what we're talking about. This looks great. The SMCI. There's more. There's like the ON. Is it ON or OLN? This looks good too. It's a semi. So it just depends on what we're looking at. Does Nvidia look good from here on out? No. Does SMCI look good from here? No. So I don't think so. But there are some names that look pretty good, like also the hardware makers like the STX, the WDC, the hard drive makers. The STX clearly is much better. Marvel looks amazing. I think it's a semi. Marvel triggered yesterday. Looks amazing. So it depends on what we're talking about. But the high flyers like Nvidia, SMCI, I personally wouldn't go there. But NXPI, Marvel, OLN, I don't know what else. I mean, I'm just speaking off the cuff here. These look good. The NXPI, that's what just triggered. I didn't know. I was running the my Swing account on the desktop. I always have it on the laptop, but sometimes I also have it on the desktop. So that's what just triggered.
Okay, so Sammy, one final question. You kind of remind me of an octopus, because it's almost like you need 8 arms because you're day trading and swing trading, and you have algorithmic stuff and cryptos and all this stuff. How do you keep up with everything?
Love for the game. I absolutely love this game. And hard work, and honesty. Like being honest in my, why am I doing this? Is it because I love it, or is it because I'm addicted to it? So being honest with myself, and I love the game. There's so many plays right now that I worked 17 hours just yesterday. How many? And this is not worked for T3. This is worked for my own trading. 17 hours. How many people that have just started trading work more than me? I don't know of any. How many people in my own room work more than I do? I don't know of any. I put in 17 hours nonstop yesterday because it's a good market right now. There's a lot of opportunities. And I'm not bragging here, but what I'm saying is it takes hard work, it takes passion for the game, it takes all the things that people tell you about, right? It's all true. But if you have it, then the potential is almost unlimited, especially in a place like trading.
Okay, I think that's a great note to end on, and I think this is something we will discuss next week, which is I don't know if you've heard of this, Sammy, but there's a concept called flow state, where you're so into what you're doing that basically you lose all track of time, and then you blink and it's 8 hours later. So
yes, in fact, there's a book called Flow, FLOW, that talks about it. Okay, well there you go. I also read Market Wizards, and he where he interviews the world's best traders, and he talks about he says if there's straining struggling, if there's effort, straining, struggling, or forcing, it's not right. So you have to flow with it. And he talks about that, and that book was written, what, 30 years ago? So I agree 100%. When you're in the zone, you flow with it, and that's where you need to get to. In the beginning, it's hard to get into that zone, but later on, you're able to have access to it, to reach it, but only if you enjoy what you're doing. And that's why Thomas Edison says, I never worked a day in my life, because he enjoyed what he was doing. It's not that he didn't work hard. He was a workaholic, but he enjoyed what he was doing. And the same with me. I work harder than anybody that I know, but I enjoy it. So I don't consider it work. I'd rather do this for the rest of my life than be stuck in a cubicle for even 1 hour a day. Anyways, I gotta run because I gotta get on the mic in the other room. But as always, nice to be with you all. And Mike, I'll talk to you. I'll see you around.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Sammy. Sammy has to go back and trade. Guys, again, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Thursday. We will be back with Sammy, and we will be talking flow state. There will be no charts. We will be talking only flow state next week. So we hope to see you soon. Guys, have a great day.